think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. I'm here with my friend and mentor, Dr. Venga. Today, we're going to be talking about the art of mindful decision making. Good evening, Dr. Venga.
Good evening, Ikram.
Being mindful is something uh, I would say I've generally become since meeting you and sitting down with you on all your on all the sessions that we've had together. If not very, at least more mindful than I was before. Uh, uh, Today, hopefully, you can help also pass this down to the rest of our audience, because I think being mindful, especially with decision making, helps people make better decisions.
That's true. That's true. But let me put it this way. From the time you were born, after you come out of your mother's womb, you have been making decisions. So have I.
Right.
Correct or not?
Yep.
We have, we have been making decisions.
Consciously or unconsciously.
We have.
Right.
So what is it that we can share with people? People make decisions, but what is it that we can share? And the topic you have picked, which is the art of mindful decision making. But these are all concept, no, Ikram, huh? Concept. It came from Vipassana meditations, which is again an Indian thing. Howard University took that up, did a lot of research, and came up with this whole series called mindful meditation. Without giving credit to the origin of where it started. But mindful decision requires my three basic principles that I have. Number one, the writing part. You must write. Number two, goal. And number three, review. Now, when I say write, what is the decision you want to make? Why do you want to make it? And when do you need to make the decision? Number two, goal. What do you want to achieve out of this decision? And what are you willing to compromise?
Right.
Number three, always review. Were you happy with what you did? What have you learned? And how can I improve myself? And over the years, you will become better at making decisions. Look, I'm 86 years old, All my life, from a little boy till now, I've always been through this. And I've accumulated that ability. Do I make perfect decisions? No. Let me first of all say that there are 7 steps which I take. And this is quite common, but it's not, everybody does it, but some do it consciously, some do it unconsciously. For me, the 7 steps are: number one, awareness of the present moment. Very important. You don't go to Starbucks and make a decision there, no?
Yep.
You understand?
Correct.
Or go to a Chinese restaurant, get a couple of alcohol and then make a decision. No. Aware of that present moment where you are making the decision, okay? Number two, understand the motivation behind the choice you're going to make. What is your own motivation when you take a choice? Number three, you must be able to see a bigger picture. You cannot be very myopic. Number four, you must embrace uncertainty with grace.
Right.
Very important, okay? Number five, You must always respond and not react. Number 6, you must make a decision with compassion, not judgmental. I have won. Number 7, after the decision made, reflect. Reflect on yourself, not with regret. You have done what you have done, accept that is what you have done, and move on. It is
Right.
important that mindful decision making is not a technique. Ikram, it is not. It is a
Mm-hmm.
way of being a human.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yes, and we forget that. You are human, I'm human. What you want, I want. What you don't want, I also don't want. And there are 3 things in this. Number 1, in this mindful decision making, the first thing is honor your own wisdom over haste.
Mm-hmm.
Honor your own wisdom over haste. Number 2, clarity over confusion. And third, consciousness over habits.
Mm.
We make decisions out of habits. You have to raise your conscious level. Now,
Can
let
I?
me try to explain each one of them in some way, in a very short way, without taking too much time from everybody. Okay.
Sure.
Number 1, before you make any decision, you must you must be mindful. And then the first thing to do is to pause. And this pause is where clarity begins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In that moment, when you pause, you will you will get clarity yourself
Right.
because you are looking at your own tell. So you will notice several things. Number 1, your own emotion, your body sensation, your thought process. Is it judgmental or not? That instead of reacting, you then will respond. You will observe that what is really happening around here. So what
Mm-hmm.
do? Practice. Practice only one thing. Take 3 deep but slow breathing process before you take it. Take 3 breaths slowly and observe your feeling, your urgency, your fear, your excitement. You will observe that.
Mm.
Note without trying to change anything, just observe. That means you must shut it down and just observe. That's the awareness of the present moment. Understand?
Right.
Is it difficult to do? Yes, but you got to practice it.
Correct.
Number
Absolutely.
2, understand the motivation behind the choice you're going to make. A mindful decision is not just about choice itself, but why is it being made?
Mm.
The why will give you reflection. Is it rooted in fear or in growth? Is it aligned with values or a temporary relief? On the point of reflection, okay? What am I trying to achieve here? Is this response coming from my intention of my condition?
Mm.
Okay, the second part of it. The third part is seeing the bigger picture. This is a practice over a period of time, you'll realize it. It expands beyond current understanding. At that moment, you must see what you can see above just making the decision. Expand your awareness. Okay. How will this decision affect others? Will it lead to inner peace or further conflict?
Mm.
Does it contribute to your own long term direction or just momentary satisfaction? What should you practice? Mentally fast forward. Imagine yourself 1 year from the day you made the decision. How does this decision look in hindsight?
Mm-hmm.
Mindful. Okay. Number 4. Okay. Important. Embracing uncertainty with grace. In other words, mindful decision making does not require perfect information. It accepts, and you must accept, uncertainty as part of your own life. We
This
are
is
never
my
certain.
this would be my biggest problem actually with decision making. The uncertainty of there are some decisions which, okay, it was with certainty that this can happen, but then when you're doing new things or going into uncharted, I suppose when you're trying to innovate, it's something that's not been done before, or you don't have the personal experience, then it's very uncertain, and it's
But it's
best.
only uncertain the first time. The second time would have gained some experience. My dear Ikram, every one of us don't even know whether we'll be alive the next hour. We don't know.
Yeah.
I thought about it only this morning, and now we are night already.
Hmm.
Uncertainty is life. It's not only your issue, mine, but become aware of it. That you are taking a decision not knowing many things, but take it. But here is my third, the review. Remember, I told you from the
Hmm.
beginning? That helps you know better. If you don't review, you don't know.
Hmm.
Okay? There are no guarantees. No one can guarantee, cannot. Ikram?
Hmm. No.
So instead of seeking for control, seek for balance. Balance. So acting wisely with what I know and what I don't know. What you know, okay. What I don't know, there is a change can take place.
Hmm.
Okay? So what are the values? That you must understand. In this embrace uncertainty with grace, the view in your mind should be I do not know everything, but I trust my awareness and intention. Awareness and intention.
Right.
Mindful, isn't it not?
Correct.
The fifth thing, Ikram, is responding and not reacting. The big problem is we are always reacting to things.
Correct.
We don't respond. Respond means step back, think about it, and then respond. Okay. Reaction is immediate, boom, unexamined, and often very unconscious.
Hmm.
Intellect. Responding is deliberate. thoughtful, and free.
Mm.
Reaction is a habit, responding is a choice.
Mm.
What should you do? Practice. Notice the urge to act, wait, let it pass, and then decide. Simple.
This is especially true when emotional. So
Yes.
whenever every decision I made, which was a reaction, an emotional reaction, generally I've regretted it.
Can you stop it?
Yes,
You
yes,
can, isn't it? Awareness, 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 awareness. You are living in a conscious universe. Why can't you, human, also become conscious?
mm,
But what happens if you make your decision based on your exam paper or some books? Cannot, because you're changing.
right,
Cannot.
correct.
Number 6, Ikram, compassion, human compassion, and not non-judgmental. You must never become judgmental on anything. Compassion you must have. But it doesn't mean if someone is not performing according to his appointment letter, he must perform. If he's not performing, then you have employed the wrong person for a job that you want him to do. And he doesn't understand that. There's no compassion there. He can't perform, he has to leave.
I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah.
So, these decisions, right? Some of the best decision makers in the world have been known to be ruthless,
Yes.
uncompassionate.
Yes.
How do you reconcile that with what you're saying, like to be compassionate in your decision making?
Okay. If you yourself cannot understand between compassionate and ruthless, then you're no human. Your animal instinct is still inside you. No one can help you. There are a lot of things happening in the world today, right? Ruthless. Big nations, big countries are doing all that, right?
Mm.
Take terrorism as an example. Is it ruthless?
Yes.
Is it justified?
No.
Yet it's happening, right? Encouraged by the West, right? In fact, built by the West from day one.
Mm.
Think about it very carefully. But slowly, it's creeping to the east. Why? Because the Western human is not fully developed. It's still very much animal in nature. The Eastern human are far more developed in its thinking process. So it doesn't do anything. The Eastern thinking will not do anything rational, ruthless. They won't do it. But they are doing it, currently being done, is because they've forgotten themselves. You, is it not? You see, huh? So what should you do? Compassion. I choose to act with care and I accept the consequence with an open heart. Once you think of these kind of things, you will not do, you will not harm anybody, no?
Mm-hmm.
Correct or not?
Yep.
I mean,
True.
Ikram, killing somebody, isn't it is ruthless, right?
It is.
You just, "Hey, why am I doing it?" Like, just ask why. But if you are so, what do you call that? You have been influenced so much, huh? You have been conditioned, huh, to do something like that, ruthless. You have no compassion. Yes or not, Ikram?
Yes.
I saw the First World War. I saw the several war after the First World War, which till today we have the war.
Mm.
So I choose to act with care and I accept the consequence with an open heart. Compassion will start.
Mm.
But apply this in your company. Apply this to people who are working. You're human, I'm a human. When you promise me that you can deliver, you have not delivered. Are you compassionate? I give you 2 months, 3 months to make the changes, or you find yourself a new job. Is that compassion?
Yes, yes, actually that is compassion, because you're then
Because,
allowing the person also to grow if he's not in the right.
correct. Meaning, make him realize you have to do something about it. Give 90 days.
Yep.
Otherwise, you got to go. You're being compassionate
Yep.
and you keep doing the same thing without any change in what you're doing.
Mm.
Then, can I help you? No. You understand or not?
Yep.
Okay. Now, number 7, the last one. And this is one of the human problem, Ikram. After decisions are made, okay, you must always reflect, or I call it review.
Mm.
You must review without regrets. I have made the decision. What was the bottom line? Accept it and move on. Ayah, I made a mistake. Move on. Already made. Move on.
Mm.
This is important. Mindful choice does not mean that you are acting or ending something that you have done. It includes reflecting on what you did. I've done it. That's it. No, you must reflect back. What do you do? First, what did I learn? How did I grow in this learning process? What would I do differently next time? Reflection, Ikram, is not for blame, but for refinement. How can I do it better the next time? Okay. So, Ikram, let me just quickly summarize what we just talked for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, okay? Just reflect. First of all, the flow of a mindful decision making individual must learn 5 things. He must learn to pause, create a space between stimulus, you want to react to something, to respond. That's the first thing. Pause. They say, step back. Okay. Number 2, observe what's happening. Notice things, feeling, context, remarks.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, you'll go to number 3, which is reflect. Understand the motivation and the consequence of your decision making.
Mm.
Number 4, decide. Act from values and awareness, not some hearsay, something that you have read, something somebody else said it. Cannot.
Mm.
Decide. Is it your own? Are you aware of what you're doing? And you're going to take that action. I never done it before, but you still want to do it. Is it good for you? Is it good for the person? It's bad for you. What are they?
Mm.
Value. You have a you have a set of values. And the fifth thing is learn from it. Review and grow from each of those experiences that we have.
Right.
You see, again, Ikram, mindful decision making is not a technique, you know. You are a human. You have come 70, I don't know, man. Nobody knows this, okay? They were only guessing 75 billion years, they're saying. We evolved to come here, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, we have gathered a lot and lot. That's why we have developed such a huge brain. Correct or not?
Right.
Unless you think that someone came and made you, nah? No, you don't think like that, right? We evolved through come here, right?
Yes.
Even in your life, like from the time you're born till now, look at the amount of evolution that taken place, lah, no? Ikram. Even for you, lah.
Mm.
Huh?
Correct.
From computer to AI during your period, right?
Yeah. In
Correct, man.
such a short span of time. With
Ah,
I think I can't even remember when did ChatGPT come, but probably last year, early last year, if I'm not mistaken. And now it's like it's a significant part of my life.
absolutely. Look, Ikram, when I used to work for people, there were big IBM computers being used already, lah, no? Because in the industry that I'm in, without that, they cannot survive, lah, no? They're all very big computers used by experts and all the rest of it. That was when I was 40 years old. By the time I was 45, they were already introducing tabletop in companies. I still have my old, oh, I think it's called Olivetti typewriter, still up somewhere in my house. Of that. That's what I used to use. Okay,
Olive.
my the girls were secretaries, or they graduated. They were typing electronic typewriters. They were using. I didn't want to touch all that. I still A B C D, two finger.
Right.
And by the time when I retire, I was already 46 years old. It took me 4 years until a salesman knocked on my head and told me, he said, you know what? You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files, which is true. Transparency, all that. I can put all of that into this little. He launched the first Toshiba laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed me how. I was already 50 years old.
And you've never looked back.
Sorry,
And you've never looked back after that.
I never look back. Today I do this online, and that awakening came when the pandemic started in 2020. This awakening came. I am the most satisfied human in this entire world. I have achieved what my vision was about talking to people one on one. I used to conduct seminars. You have been to many of mine.
Yep.
Go travel around, pay my own money, all that traveling around. What did I achieve? Nothing. Zip. I just talked to people, shared with them all the thing. I sprayed and then I pray that something will happen, right? Now, no, one on one. Ikram, I am truly satisfied
That's good.
because this is decision making, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a process. Have I made wrong decision? Of course, I've made many, but I change. How? Realize it. Say, this is my mistake. I accept the responsibility. Let's see how we can get out of it.
Mm.
That's it. So, of course, there is compromise in any decision-making process. But am I learning from it? Yes, I am. Look at the system I have today and what it was 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's evolving.
Mm.
You see, Anna? Ikra.
You know,
So,
as you said, of course, there are side negatives or um, a very famous economist, I can't remember his name now, but he said there are no right decisions, there's only trade-offs.
yes, that's correct. Yes, correct. You're always trading off. That's right. The question is, how much are you willing to let go?
Right,
And
right.
how
Your
much are you willing to
priorities.
accept?
Correct.
In marriage, in children, in friends, in whatever you do, there is also a trade off. But you must accept it because you are sitting there making the decision
Mm.
together. Mindfulness. So the concept goes off with meditation. That's why yoga has become the number one healer in the world today. And I can proudly say that it's being used by all over the world.
Yep.
Yoga, mindfulness, meaning with your own breath, with your own breath, you bring in air into your lungs and know very well that the air that you're bringing in, without that air, you'll be dead. And do you appreciate the fact that the air is produced by the tree, the dumb tree and plants, right?
Yep.
It takes your carbon dioxide, converts it through the sun, and makes air and oxygen and send it to you. And you don't even know it. Stupid human, right?
Yep.
So decision making cannot be a difficult process.
Mm.
You make decision on what you know, or you take a decision on what you do not know. So
Correct.
take a small step, small decision along the way, but make it. Sitting idle and not making a decision is you are not evolved.
Mm.
Let's say when I was 50 years old, I don't take on that Toshiba salesman, bought the computer, and I did not know even how to start. I bought the computer. I thought, oh, very good. So I went for weekend. I still remember the day. I went for the weekend. I have an apartment in PD. Okay, I went there. And suddenly the computer won't work. So I called him on the phone. And he said, you find a little hole, you press. I tried everything, cannot. He said, no, man. He said, please leave everything there. I will come there. He drove all the way from Kuala Lumpur, came to PD, and then he showed me a small little dot over there, and a small dot. He took a pencil and poked it, pop, it started again. I didn't know.
This must have been one hell of an expensive Toshiba for the guy to come all the way down to Port Dickson.
You know what? I paid the same. He was a friend of mine. The owner of the company, Toshiba, was a friend of mine. He's still alive.
Kong.
Yes. CK, my
Right.
friend. But the salesman's name, I still remember, Sunny, his name. He said to me, don't do anything, I'll come. He drove down. The computer was, I don't know, at that point in time, maybe 3,000, 4,000 ringgit lah.
Mm.
The first. But you know what? I did not know where to put the thing to restart it. From that day until Microsoft launched this Surface,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Surface, I only use Toshiba. Wherever I went in the world, they must use Toshiba
Right.
for that incident. So what I'm trying to tell you, we learn by experience, but accepting that we make mistake, we all make mistake, Ikram, even at my age. Will I make a mistake? Yes, I will. But what prevents me from making a disastrous mistake is to step back and say, should I be doing this?
Mm.
Reflect. So that's as simple as that. So the 5 things very important: pause, observe, reflect, decide, learn. 5 things.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Venga. We've come to the end of our time limit for today. That has been very, very insightful, actually. Um, Lots of things that I think I can put to practice. And one of the things that I was silently kicking myself is the review. It's something I myself allow to lapse every now and then, but I think it's a critical part of improving on decision making.
You know what, Ikram? To me, Rana, which I have discovered in the last 5 years, the people who went and talked to people about time management, they themselves did not practice review.
Mm,
That's why eventually they all have to leave, and I have to take on this because this I will never let go.
the
If
review.
you only if you review yourself will you improve. And I do that even now, Ikram. After this conversation that we have now, I will sit down and review. Where can I improve? How can I improve? How can both you and me, Ikram, make this even better? All that I'll review. Make a note. If you don't do this review on everything that you do, from talking to your own child, talking to somebody close to you, talking to your boss, talking to your people that work for you, if you don't do that, you will never improve in your decision making process.
Mm.
It's crucial. Thank you for listening to me.
No problem. Thank you for sharing all that with us. To our audience out there, thank you for being with us tonight. Hope this episode was insightful. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comment section below. Venga answers them personally. Good night, and until we meet in our next episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs, which is happening on July the 2nd. It's the first Wednesday at 8 p.m. as usual. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night.